The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Health workers continue their protests today over unreleased benefits. And they also want Health Secretary Francisco Duque to be held accountable for his alleged mishandling of funds. Greg Gregorio now joins us live from Manila to give us more details on this. Greg, good afternoon. What do you have for us?
Charles, health workers from various hospitals in Metro Manila gathered in front of the DOH Central Office earlier today for their mass protest. They are calling for the immediate release of their benefits as provided under Bayanihan law. Health workers from Jose Reyes Memorial Hospital and San Lazaro Hospital marched along Rizal Avenue to converge with other health workers waiting in front of the DOH Central Office. Today is the first day after the deadline given by President Duterte for the Health Department to release special risk allowances of these health workers. The DOH earlier said that it has already downloaded 311 million pesos worth of funds to their regional units last week to pay for the SRA of 20,000 health workers. But health workers say this fund is not enough, as many of them have yet to receive their SRA for their service from December to June. Aside from the SRA, health workers are also calling for the immediate release of their meal, accommodation, and transportation allowances, as well as their active hazard duty pay. Filipino Nurses United questions why the DOH continuously say they are still looking for funds for these benefits when COAS recently flagged their budget utilization, including 11.9 billion pesos in unobligated funds. Alliance of Health Workers, meanwhile, say they are disappointed that President Duterte continues to defend Health Secretary Francisco Duque amid many complaints from the ground. They say Duque must be ousted from his post because of these lapses in releasing benefits of healthcare workers. They even brought a photo of Secretary Duque placed behind bars as a symbol of their call for accountability. But about 500 health workers were estimated to have joined protests earlier. They are composed of health workers who are off duty, those who came from the night shift, working half day, or those who filed for a leave. Some were also joining the protest while working from inside of their hospitals by wearing red armband. We were also able to speak with Health Undersecretary Leopoldo Vega earlier. He said they respect the right of these workers to air their grievances, but he explains about 400,000 health workers have already received their special risk allowance for January to June work. However, he admits that they still have a pending request of at least 200 million pesos for additional SRA eligible health care workers. Charles, for now, Undersecretary Vega said they are looking for additional funds to pay for other benefits provided or promised to health workers. The official also pointed out that 11.9 billion peso brought up by the Filipino Nurses United have already been used by hospitals during the first trimester of this year. Charles?
Thanks for those updates and stay safe, Greg. That was Greg Gregorio reporting live from Manila. COVID-19 antibodies decline over time, but the immune system has a backup plan that doesn't rely on boosters. University of Pennsylvania's Dr. John Wary explains on Bloomberg Quick Take.
Our subjects still had detectable antibodies at 6 months. So, antibodies are not gone at 6 months, but they are declining. On the other hand, memory B cells were actually increasing over the 6 months that we monitored. That was maybe a little bit surprising. Those memory B cells also were quite good and actually got better over time in their ability to bind to variants, including the South African or Beta variant and the Delta variant. So we're getting increased coverage of the variants, at least with our memory B cell compartment. The idea there is that you have this sort of reserve capacity that the immune system has a backup plan, and should antibodies wane and you get a little bit of local infection, you have memory B cells there to really sort of renew or sort of respond very rapidly and make new neutralizing antibodies. We're seeing a drop in efficacy when you only measure whether people get infected, but really, really steady immunity if you're measuring severe disease outcomes.
Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. slammed those who got their third vaccine shots. He said getting boosters when others haven't even received their first jab is immoral. To tell us more about this, we have JC Cosico reporting live from Mandaluyong. JC, good afternoon. What other updates did Secretary Galvez give during the Kapihan session earlier?
Charles, the Philippines may begin its COVID-19 vaccination to the general population by next month. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. says the country may have enough supply of jabs by that time. Among those expected to be inoculated are minors with comorbidities. Galvez says around 54.5 million doses of different jabs will arrive in the Philippines in the next 2 months. He says vaccines will be equitably distributed to regions outside Metro Manila. However, for now, the proposed bakuna bubble shall not be implemented due to lack of vaccine supply. That's why Galvez slammed vaccine hoppers or those who received the booster shots, calling them immoral. But personally, Galvez says he wants booster shots for healthcare workers and those with comorbidities. However, they are still waiting guidance from experts and the World Health Organization regarding this. So far, the Philippines has administered 33.7 million COVID-19 shots. In other news, Galvez says that the Philippines or the government will spend about 2 to 5 million pesos for the frontline memorial wall at the libingan ng mga bayani. Now, this will be designed by the BCDA and is expected to be completed by December. Back to you.
Thanks for that, JC. That was JC Cosico reporting live from Mandaluyong. The time has come. The top 30 finalists for Miss Universe Philippines 2021 will be announced today. After a series of virtual challenges, only 30 from 100 delegates will proceed to the next leg of the competition. The top 30 will be composed of 27 candidates selected by Miss Universe Philippines panelists and 3 delegates who will receive the highest fan votes. This means only 3 finalists will have fan votes as the basis for their advancement, and the rest were chosen by the panelists based on their performances in previous challenges. Fan votes are not considered in the panel scoring. Here are other stories to watch out for later today. The World Health Organization confirms the Delta variant is now the dominant COVID-19 strain in the country. Travel restrictions to 10 countries have been extended until Sunday, September 5. And the 60th edition of the Miss International pageant is once again postponed for next year. Exciting news for the whole family as Signal brings you 11 more awesome channels with free viewing starting this September until October 15. More blockbuster movies on Tap Movies, Tap Action Flicks, and Tagalized Movie Channel. More entertaining and trendy shows on Lotus Macau and Tap TV. More heart-pounding sports action on Premier Sports and Varsity Channel, and more fun learning for your kids at home on Moonbug Kids and DreamWorks. For more details, visit Signal's website or Facebook page. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 1 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.